I tell you what, we wanted a chance to play in this tournament. We got the chance. And first credit to Ohio for how they played, well coached, and they played tough, and they made some big plays down the stretch. But, our guys were, again, hopeful that we get this opportunity. The NCAA allowed us to come in and, in a unique way, but thankful for it. But it just stings right now to, not advance in this tournament. It's such a special tournament. And, again, you know how that goes. It's the last game of the year is always tough. And I know our guys are feeling it right now. We had some chances. I'm sure I'll get asked that question. Don't know if we got tired down the stretch or, felt, a little bit of the pressure, but I thought we got some good looks and just had a pretty poor shooting day, a very poor shooting day from three with some quality shots. But again, they did a solid job defensively.
First question is from Jeff White from VirginiaSports.com.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Can you hear me, Tony?
Yeah, I got you now, Jeff.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you, Jeff.
Okay, I'm sorry. Your guys were up 7 with 14 minutes to go, and the game kind of swung from that point. What was the difference in the final stretch?
Yeah, I think we had some good stretches of defense in there. We were deflecting balls, making it hard on them, and I thought, I thought early in the game, Jeff, we were settling a little bit. We were shooting a little quick, and then I thought in the second half we ran pretty good offense and got the kind of looks, the rhythm open looks or some in the lane, the shots we wanted, and we really had trouble capitalizing on them that I'd take probably, again, the quality of the looks. And I think going cold in that setting hurt. And when we did need a key stop, they got a nice back door and a slip, and that hurt us. But the guys played as hard as they could, and they fought. But I think that ability to it comes down to whether it's banging a big shot here or there or getting our rhythm, and we looked just didn't look like we had, as far as from a shooting standpoint, didn't knock down the shots that I've seen us make. And again, they did a good job and guarding us, but they were quality looks from my standpoint.
Next question is from Bennett Conlon of the Daily Progress.
Coach, I wanted to ask, after all your team had been through in the last week with the COVID protocol, quarantine and things like that, what do you tell the team in the locker room after the loss and just everything you've been through the last 10 days or so?
Yeah, just as I'm kind of how I started with my statement, I said we wanted an opportunity, and we were grateful to the NCAA for giving us that. And we met all the protocols. I know more about protocols than I care to be honest. But we weren't sure after our Syracuse game if we were even going to get a chance to play in the tournament, and we were allowed that opportunity. And we came in, and we thought we had a chance. We certainly did it. I don't know if it would have mattered if it was a normal prep or not. How can you say? Because we played a good team, and that's this tournament. But it was. I just thanked, the old guys that put as much as they could into this program, and I said you'll remember your ACC regular season championship. That's a big deal. And you also remember, getting beat in this tournament, but nothing to hang your head about. It's just, you come into these games, and that's what makes this the survive and advance mentality, or lose or go home, and that's the reality of this. And I've faced such joy in this tournament on so many occasions, and I've faced the heartache too. And you have to be, again, as I always say, willing to accept them both. And know that when your career's done, this doesn't define you, whether you win it all or you lose or anything. It's what you do. You do it with love and joy and passion, and then you don't let it define you beyond what it should.
Next question is from Mike Barber.
Hey, Tony. Defensively in the first half, particularly, you guys seemed really locked in. Did you feel like more than ever you were probably going to have to ride that defense because of the offensive rust? And then talk a little bit about Vanderplas and what he was able to do in the second half.
Yep. No, I thought we were sharp defensively, and for the limited prep and all that stuff. I thought, again, it's what we tried to do all year, and just I'm glad it was there, and I thought we fought, and even good stretches in the second half, real good stretches defensively. And, it would come down to that. But, you're going to have to make certainly some plays offensively. And but I sensed, the looks were there, and you could just see we couldn't get them to drop. And it did put a lot of pressure on our defense. That's the only thing that stung, a couple of those breakdowns at key times defensively that otherwise I think ruined a pretty solid defensive effort. But, again, credit to them. And then Ben Vanderplas, he did what his old man would do when I played with him, make key plays, and he's really good. He hit those big threes end of the half. That was a big three, and then the 2 threes he hit in a couple drives. He's just skilled and sound, and he knows how to play the game. So, again, happy for him and hurting for our guys.
Next question is from Preston Willett, CBS 19.
Tony, you talked about looking at those seniors after y'all found out about the COVID case, and what was it like looking at them tonight after all the work they put in this year and after this crazy week that y'all have had?
Well, like any, you thank them, and there'll be probably better times to speak clearer to them about what they meant and who they are as men and as players. After the game, not a lot is heard, and it's just trying to encourage them and thank them. And tell them that they'll always be a part of this. And, again, they'll have a ACC regular season championship, and they got a chance to play in the tournament, and that'll sting how it ended. But that was the extent of it. I didn't have any. I said I wish I had some magic words to make the sting go away, but I don't. But time heals all things.
Carter Hill, fifth quarter.
Hey, Coach. Congratulations on a great season. Just now that it's all wrapped up, though, how do you overall reflect on this past year, and what will you take out of it heading into next season?
Hard to kind of evaluate the whole year. It was a windy road, unique, the way it started. And obviously this last, 9 days or 8 days was as strange and unique as you'd find heading into this. But again, at the start of the season, we didn't even know if we'd get to play that many games, didn't know what would happen with the NCAA tournament. And, it was just I'm glad we're having the NCAA tournament, but it was a strange year, unlike any, and I hope it never happens again, because there's such an experience when the fans are there and the excitement of it. And that won't take anything away from the teams, of course, that are advancing, but one for the ages for sure. And I'm sure I'll reflect and have some better insights on it. But it was a lot. You come in, and most teams came in I think June or July, and none of the guys got to go home. So I think it was just hanging in there and enduring and growing and enjoying times together and kind of suffering through the rough stuff.
Thank you.
Next question, David Teal.
Tony, you just mentioned what a strange season it has been. Were you made aware before your game of VCU's situation, and was that a stark reminder of how tenuous this all was?
VCU. Oh, they had no, man. I didn't. I balked just a minute. So VCU couldn't play their game against Oregon?
Correct.
What is it with us Virginia schools? Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that for those young men. I didn't know that. No, yeah, I guess you're right. That is.
Next question comes from Billy Witz.
Tony, hi. Can you just, I guess, explain what you weren't able to do this week as far as preparation, and just, I guess, the context for not being able to do those things at this time of year?
Look, that's done. We had a chance, and we wanted that, and we got to do some individual stuff, and then had we had a normal team practice on Friday morning before we left. But that we prepared to the best of our abilities, and again, Ohio played a better game. When they needed to make plays, they made the plays, and we left some on the table. And so, again, I'm grateful we got the chance, and you can't go back and change anything. And I thought our guys were as ready as they can given the circumstances, and it would have been a heck of a win, and it's a hard loss.